So what is going on with my car?
Rev it up a little bit. Good, give it a little bit of gas.
As you can see, this is going to be a different type of video as we are in my room and not with my car because I do not have my M240 and I'm not going to have it for probably another week at least. Definitely, I don't know. As you may or may not know, I just put a Pure 800 turbo, a Dorch Stage 2 high pressure fuel pump, and a 550i clutch on my 2017 M240i, which of course has the notoriously reliable V58. I've had a lot of stuff change on the car in the last couple weeks, and I was really kind of waiting until everything was fully dialed in before recording and making a proper kind of like overview on everything that's been done. Still working with a tuner to get everything kind of dialed in properly, and it was going good. But now it's not. Or maybe it is, I don't know. This whole situation honestly makes no sense. Before I get into the mysterious problem I'm having, I want to share with you the stuff that's been going on with the car in the last couple weeks. As winter has come to an end, I was getting ready to put my summer wheels on, but to do that, because I lowered the car, I had to pull out my fenders. So this is the process of that being done. It's pretty cool to see right before my eyes. The guy actually came to my garage where I live and did it on the spot. The process in itself looks pretty easy, but he kind of assured me that if you don't know what you're doing, it's so easy to heat up a fender too much and kind of warp it, bend it, whatever. I think he did all 4 fenders in under an hour. As you can see, this is the before on one side and this is the after. It's not really too noticeable unless you're really looking for it. I know some people feel like this destroys the value of the car because you're kind of altering and messing with the body, but let me know what you think. Now I had to pull the fenders because my summers are kind of beyond spec for what fits on this car due to the width and offset. I wanted aggressive fitment, so this is what had to happen. Now I had Apex SM10s in anthracite, just powder coated to Illusion nickel. As you can see, this is the new color. I like it a lot more. I was gonna go with the Hyper Silver, but everybody does silver. I want to try something different. Let me know how you guys feel about the color. I do like it. It's a little bit different out there, but the car looks cool in my opinion, so I guess that's all that matters. Now, if you saw my previous video where I took the car on the dyno after the turbo install, we had some smoking issues. So we kind of routed that down to being a PCV problem. So I had to go ahead and order the PCV diaphragm delete kit with a catch can from Ross Racing Performance. This is the part now installed on the car. It wasn't too invasive to do, kind of makes the engine bay look a little cooler, I think. It does smell a little bit more on idle now, obviously because you're venting to atmosphere. The smoking overall from the exhaust completely went down. And at this point, the car is running great, no codes, no engine lights. The logs look good, it pulls fine, no limp mode, everything was great. I also put on these carbon fiber kidney grills from Carbon Culture. I posted a short, maybe you saw that video, but here's what they look like also. I think they look sweet, love the carbon look on the front of the car now. And the next part we did LCI taillights from a 2020 M240. I obviously have the pre-LCI model. I think this completely revamps the back of the car. Looks way cleaner overall. Install was a bit tedious. I had to buy the LCI taillight plugs and then de-pin my original harness and repin it from an 8 to a 6 pin, as you can see, to make sure everything worked fine. This of course through some codes, so I went and got the taillights coded to, because I think it goes from halogen to LED. So the car gets a little confused. Everything was working, everything still worked, but you know, now everything's coded in. It's all 100%, everything is great. I think that's caught everything up. So now for my mysterious issue. All right, settle down. I know it doesn't sound great. These motors are notoriously loud for ticking, especially when you don't run an engine cover, which I'm not. I have a lot of sound deafening stuff removed because of the fuel pump, the catch can kit, nothing fits over the engine now. So I know some are gonna say, oh, Rod Knock, the motor's done. I just don't see how in a world where that makes any sense. I'm gonna also share with you, the car has 29,000 kilometers on it, okay? Maybe I'm just extremely unlucky. I've never seen a case where a V58 with this low mileage had this big of an issue when it wasn't even making that much power, okay? Like the car made under 500 wheel. I'm on pump gas. I'm really not pushing this motor at all to its limits. We took a stethoscope and tracked it to come from the bottom part of the motor where the oil pump is. I've had so many people tell me a number of different issues of what it could be. No one's gonna really know. I'm not gonna know until we kind of go in there. And since we tracked it to the oil pump, we're gonna go ahead and drop the oil pan, which is a big job, but it's gotta be done. More context on the issue. This started a day after I did the turbo fuel pump and clutch install, okay? So that means that The car wasn't even on a custom tune yet. It was just on a MHD Stage 2 Plus tune, so it was making like maybe 420 wheel max. Again, nowhere near the power limits of the B58. I wasn't even really pushing the car hard at all until it was on, you know, the custom tune, properly tuned for the new turbo. But because I just installed the fuel pump, I had no engine cover, I thought the noise was kind of normal. I had other people listen to it. They didn't really think it was too much of an issue unless it got louder, and it never got louder. It stayed the same volume the whole time. It completely goes away at like 1600 RPM. That's why I don't think it's rod knock, because it doesn't stay consistent through higher RPM. I did always think it was kind of weird, so we're gonna go ahead and address this issue now before it becomes something potentially way worse. So we drained the oil, we looked in the oil for metal shavings, and okay, the car had a fresh oil change when we did the turbo. That was under 3,000 kilometers ago. It did look a little dark for that mileage, so something's wearing a little bit faster than it should. Now, we didn't see like sparkles and crazy reflective whatever stuff in the oil. It was a little bit sparkly, I guess. And then we cut the oil filter open and we did see a very, very, very small amount of tiny metal shavings. And then something was a little more concerning in the oil filter housing. There was a bigger chunk metal shaving in there. But then again, I mean, I had other people look at this and they said that, you know, it's not totally uncommon to get a very small amount of metal shavings in it. Let me know what you guys think. And then I also want to reiterate again, I am not pushing high power on this car, so it just doesn't make any sense how something could go wrong, how I could actually damage the motor with under 500 horsepower. So now I'm just waiting for the oil pan to get dropped. We're gonna go in there and really see what the issue could be. Because we're gonna be down there, we've ordered upgraded rod bearings, but again, we're not gonna really know if we even need these parts until we get in there. So might return them, might not even use them, but doesn't hurt to upgrade them if, you know, the oil pump's an issue and the rod bearing's like an extra hour of a job. We'll see what the problem is. I honestly have no idea. But yeah, that's what's been going on with the car. For me, this makes absolutely no sense. I'm a pretty nice, good owner, I think. Like, I always warm the car up before I step on it. I really do not abuse it when it's cold. I don't even really abuse it when it's warm. I've also been kind of waiting to even do a like heavy driving until the tune's been fully dialed in, which it pretty much is now, but yeah, I don't know. We never had any engine codes. My oil pressure is fine. The logs look good. It's never gone into limp mode. Like, I'm baffled. I have no idea. Pray for me it's nothing major. I'll keep you guys updated. And yeah, let's hope I'm not the most unlucky B58 owner in the world. This is so unprecedented. Ugh.